So promotion for Tron Ares has begun to ramp up. We got loads of new teaser images, but that's not even the highlight here. Empire Magazine discussed tons of new plot points that create both excitement and confusion. I'll go over all this in just a moment, but first, we need to show off this truly gorgeous light cycle clip that director Joachim Roning dropped on his Instagram. We can see Ares taking a right turn and he's riding down Center City. And in the background, if you listen carefully, there's more music from the soundtrack and it's synced perfectly to the light cycle sounds. It's very immersive. Now the other thing that I want to focus on a few seconds later is the limited edition cover of the Tron Empire magazine. We had the first version released last week and this looks amazing. It's fully backlit and I'm sure many of you guys are going to be jealous of the lucky few who get to pick this up. But speaking of jealousy, let's take a look at the Dillinger family. Now we obviously know Julian Dillinger is one of the main antagonists. We originally expected Edward Dillinger Jr. to be the main villain, played by Cillian Murphy, and obviously that didn't work out. In place of him, Julian is the only Dillinger, right? Now it may come as a shock, but you're wrong. We're gonna be getting two Dillingers. The second Dillinger was just confirmed. This is Elizabeth Dillinger, and she was looking out the building in the trailer, and it gets me really excited seeing this image right here of Julian and Elizabeth. She has a very serious talk with her son about possibly the recognizer and the chaos that he brought to the city, since there's an earlier image of Julian possibly doing a tech demo of sorts. He's got glasses on and maybe he's digitizing Ares or a vehicle into the real world. And obviously here he looks angry and determined, so maybe things did not go according to plan. Ares changed sides. Maybe Eve Kim did something he didn't like. Elizabeth is probably telling Julian not to take things super far, because there's a quote in the Empire magazine stating, having a son that behaves in the way that Julian does and trying to deal with his actions both emotionally and logistically, it adds a level of stress and strain to their relationship. So it seems that maybe in the beginning, Elizabeth isn't innocent. She's fully on board with everything her son's doing, but he just takes things so far and things get out of hand. We know early on the goal is to find Flynn's permanence code. We hear Ares talk about this in the leaked trailer last year, and we now know that Eve Kim is also looking for it. She sifts through Flynn's floppy disks, and we know that her goals are very different from the Dillingers. She's actually the new CEO of Encom, and she will be the face of Flynn's legacy in this movie. So we're gonna have Eve versus the Dillingers. I will say it's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to see Sam in the CEO role, even for 2 seconds, because in the OG Tron movie, Flynn at the very end of the film was in a suit, holding a briefcase, coming off the helicopter, ready to go for his first day. But I guess we gotta continue the same story beats where the original main character is the underdog. They're not currently in a high position in the following film, but I assume there will be a good reason explaining why Sam is no longer involved with the company, or at least in a very hands-on approach. In terms of the permanence code though, obviously as I said, Encom and Dillinger will have different uses for it. One of them is doing it to better the world, for example with healthcare and other advancements, while the other is focused on militarism. And this will be shown in the form of a scene with Leto's Ares and Cameron Monaghan's character Caius. Now with this character specifically, we don't have an image of him, but we do have 11 different promo images from Empire magazine, so it's possible one of them is related to this scene. But we got dialogue and it involves Ares giving orders to his army. He says, programs, our directive is clear: cross the plaza, evade security, penetrate the server core, and take what we came for. And Monaghan's character responds, concerned about their detection, and Ares reassures them. Following this, Athena, Ares' second in command, says, let's make it ours. It's nice that we know what Cameron Monaghan's role is in this movie, what side he's on, which kind of makes sense. It should have been obvious, but it does suck we can't see him in the suit. Now, while on the topic of the army, we gotta focus on a scene that likely happens a bit earlier on, and this is them either inside the Dart, a recognizer, or even in the grid. And we're looking at this photo of Athena. Last week, we got a photo of her inside a very similar vehicle potentially, and I think it's the same exact photo, just zoomed out further, and you can actually see the disc holder is actually quite similar here to an image that came out months ago with Ares' disc right here, and he's about to pick it up. The sentries in the background, and they look pretty good. Now, I had some criticism early on when these first looks came out last year. It was a side shot, so it wasn't the best, but now that we see them in action, I can confidently say the designs are not that different from Legacy, and they are definitely worst case scenario, above average, best case scenario, peak fantastic. This isn't the last image of Athena, since we got two so far. There's a third one, and this is her outside just coming off the dart. And as I said in the previous video, there was set footage of her coming off the dart, and this could be taking place right as the heist is about to begin, where we had that dialogue I just went over, and then obviously we see the dart here again, and Ares is right next to the director. I definitely think that these scenes relate to the dialogue we just went over, but it could be taking place later when Ares switches sides and Athena's going after him. But Ares changing sides won't just happen because Eve gets to him. It's probably going to be a slow progression, and we know that he's confused with his objectives in both trailers because he said, quote, he's looking for something he doesn't understand, and there's something at work inside my soul I do not understand. So he probably just defects from the group and wanders around curious, and that's when Eve first meets him at the Dumont building, and we see a Dillinger helicopter hovering above them. So it's whoever gets to him first has the best shot of getting the permanence code. Since we're at the Dumont building, and that was seen as Sam's apartment in Tron Legacy, it's possible they're going to Sam's place to see if he has any files or clues to where this code could be. So on top of the Ducati bike that's getting a cameo, it proves that although Garrett Hedlund isn't in the movie, his character will have an importance to the plot. Let's return to Encom as we got a huge image of that convention that was seen in the set photos last year. We got Hassan Minaj's character doing a keynote, and they're unveiling some classic games as mobile games most likely. The icons definitely look like it. We've got a Matrix Blaster icon and it says retro, so it's implied it's the same game ported to mobile. And I assume this game right here is a version of Space Paranoids, though it does look different from the signs that we've seen, so I could be wrong. As for the rest of the apps, it's hard to say. One of them is likely revolving around your AI avatar, as this set photo came out last year with a QR code. It could either be this gamer emoji icon or this one where the person's thinking and they're being digitized. We also got this dog app on the left, which is a reference possibly to Marv, aka Sam's dog. We know that Marv is shown in Disney's Speedstorm during that Tron season, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was a small mention. And the last icon is a bit of a stretch, but it could be a version of the Outlands and trying to escape them maybe. Either way, it's really cool to see Encom is cooking, and this clearly has to be connected to what Dillinger's doing, because as I went over moments ago, Dillinger's doing a keynote here, and we can see Julian and others are wearing shades, maybe because Ares is coming into this world, digitizing. We know in the leaked trailer, Julian talks as if there's an audience in front of him, and he talks about intelligent life inside the computer. So it makes sense that they would both be trying to out-compete each other. As you can see in the Encom audience, it's very chill, complete opposite to Dillinger's presentation. We've got cosplayers like Abraxas here. We've got Sam Flynn specifically on the grid. We've got other fans holding out discs that look very similar to the ones from the Light Cycle Run gift shop. And in the set photos last year, we saw 1982 Tron and Yori cosplayers as well as Clue. They're not in this specific photo, but all these cosplayers are definitely here in the audience. And during this presentation, we can see it in the leaked trailer, we see Hassan's character looks to the side as if something is happening. So whatever Julian does at his presentation possibly leads to the recognizer or maybe something else, and everybody at Encom is in complete shock. And it's a little confusing because it's obviously nighttime when the recognizer's coming in, and these keynotes are happening in the daytime. So maybe it starts in the day leading to the night, or maybe something else is going on. It's really hard to say, but with proper context of the cosplayers, I am not anywhere near as concerned as I was when the original images dropped. I was worried that it would be a bit cringe and feel out of place, but it does feel very grounded in our world and obviously conventions that we would go to. Also that we're living in a world of AI right now. So it's really cool to see all these ideas being adapted, and also everybody involved with the making of this movie had up-to-date meetings during the filming of this movie because they wanted this to feel relevant a year later, since technology can change in a year. So they had to be as accurate as possible. And as great as Tron Legacy was, I admit there's probably more emphasis in this movie on what it means to be human in this world of technology. It's going to focus on everyday life rather than in the first movie. It was focused on the company and a select few characters. Legacy, it's a private server. This movie is going to focus on everybody. So it's probably going to resonate with the general audience a lot more. And I'm definitely very excited about that. It'll be a very different angle. And Greta Lee, who plays Eve Kim, talks quite a bit about this in Empire magazine. And speaking of Eve Kim, we've got two more images of her to break down. One of them is on a snowy mountain and they're holding oranges. And we saw a tree of oranges in the leaked trailer last year. So it's a reference to digitizing the orange in the first movie. And you can see in the background one, there is a platform. They're probably trying to digitize in a safe environment away from everyone. And then in the second image, we were able to finally see her in the white suit in HD. We saw this once again in the leaked trailer, but we never saw it in high quality. It looks fantastic. And there's one last thing I want to bring up as we end off this video. The magazine basically confirmed Jared Leto's original character. Now, of course, he was going to be Ares in the original Ascension script as a more minor character, but before this, we knew he was in talks to be in Tron Legacy, and it never worked out. But the character he would have possibly played was Michael Sheen's Castor and Zeus. Even Leto agrees that the actor that played that character was perfect for it, did a much better job. But anyways, that's everything we know about Tron Ares. If you guys want to see other images broken down, as well as learning about when the second trailer will drop, I suggest you watch this video right here.